high blood pressure isn't just a number. It can actually have long-term effects on your heart. So let's go over how that happens and why that is. So some of us may know that if you have high blood pressure over a long period of time, what it can do is enlarge the heart or cause the blood to be flowing in the wrong direction at the wrong time, right? But how? Why does that happen? So your heart is a pump, right? So let's think if it's like any pump, like it could even be a manual bicycle pump that you're doing and you're squeezing it, right? That's what your heart's doing, it's squeezing. And when it squeezes, it's getting all that blood out of there. So what it does is it leaves through these arteries, right? So this is your aorta and some other arteries that come off of here. So imagine we're using a pump and then all of a sudden, I'm like, you know what? Let's put a smaller hose on the end of that pump and just see what happens, right? So that's called high blood pressure. It's when basically this artery starts to tighten and get stressed, right? So now it's even harder to squeeze that pump. So your heart, I'm gonna open this up for you, is built of muscle inside, right? There's no bones in there, it's all muscle. And you can see the trabeculae, the little muscle right here. And what your heart does, it's so smart, it says, okay, listen, if I'm gonna be pumping and I have to work even harder for this to get this through the arteries and get to the entire body, then what I'm gonna have to do is I gotta get stronger. So what it does is it builds more muscle in here. But when it does that, you see this little area here, this little space? That's where the blood is. That has to leave to go feed the rest of your entire brain and body. So when it gets too much muscle and too thick in there, there's nowhere for the blood to go. So your body says, okay, well, we're just gonna have to get bigger, right? So then your heart gets bigger. Now here's where the problem is. Well, even more. You see these little doors in your heart, these little white things? Those are called valves. And basically they shut when they need to so the blood can get out, so the blood can stay in, and they open when they need to so the blood can get out. But think of these like a door in your house, right? Like the door right behind me. If I suddenly keep the same door, but this door jamb around it, I make much bigger, but I don't change the size of the door. Now I have this door just swinging every which way and not when I want it to. So that's what can happen to the heart. And we don't want that, right? So if you've been struggling with high blood pressure and you want to take a look inside of your heart and see what's happening, then feel free to go ahead and schedule an ultrasound. It's simple, painless, takes about 25 minutes and could save your life.